We are going to hold people accountable that push lies. And the president believes deeply that American news outlets should be reporting the truth.
Women were not invited to many tables in this nation. The reason we fought and busted our behinds to make sure that you didn't have to worry about this.
They're disgusting. She's Anna Navarro in your wildest imagination. You could never solo host a show. You will only ever make it as part of an ensemble, and you could never hope to achieve the success. So you can sit in your little cheap seats all day long and enjoy your little negative henpecking, but your careers are going nowhere.
How ironic that Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar and the rest of the ladies on The View spend their time calling Republicans the conspiracy theorists, but they have been wrong about everything they have said over the last couple of years.
Nobody predicted this.
Nobody saw this coming. The noise, the arguments, the chaos, sure, people expected plenty of that. But what actually unfolded, almost nobody had it on the list. Megyn Kelly didn't arrive simply to observe, she came prepared, and suddenly the entire situation felt combustible. Karoline Leavitt didn't merely leave the courtroom claiming a victory, she stepped back onto the national stage and turned the aftermath into a moment the entire audience couldn't ignore. Megyn started firing off pointed commentary. Joy appeared unable to regain control. Whoopi looked seconds away from exploding. And through all of it, Megyn sat there with the expression of someone who had just watched the biggest payoff to a long-running story. So what exactly pushed daytime television's most controversial table toward this apparent collapse? Stay with me, because the story has all the ingredients: sharp timing, a carefully built setup, and an outcome that caught plenty of people off guard.
NBC having just paid $15 million for a defamation lawsuit would think not to engage in conspiracy theories about assassination attempts, but I guess that's too much to ask from The View. I mean, I gotta ask you, because they said it, are you aware of any plots from Elon Musk to push President Trump down the stairs?
Absolutely not. Let me be unequivocally clear about that.
For years, the women behind that famous table have operated like...
Absolutely not. And I want to make that completely clear. For years, the women sitting behind that famous table have carried themselves as though they controlled the entire conversation. Untouchable, unconcerned, certain that rules affecting everyone else somehow stopped at their doorstep. Then came the alleged $800 million consequence, landing over the ABC situation with the force of a runaway train. Karoline Leavitt didn't simply walk away from a legal fight with a victory. In the telling of this story, she completely changed the narrative surrounding it. And Megyn Kelly wasn't interested in quietly watching from the sidelines. She stepped into the aftermath, opened the door wider, and reignited the discussion with the kind of confidence that suggested she'd been waiting for the opportunity.
I would like this young lady this is her first job, I would like her to do a little homework. Because she said something yesterday that really pissed me off. And that was, she said, there will be no wokeness here.
Oh, yeah.
Let me explain something to you. Because without that wokeness, you might not have that job.
Yeah.
Because women were not invited to that table. Women were not invited to many tables in this nation. The reason we fought and busted our behinds to make sure that you didn't have to worry about this. And now to hear you talk about it, and to hear anybody talk about the wokeness.
Before we continue, hit that like button and subscribe if you're enjoying the video, because there's plenty more to unpack here. Think about how quickly circumstances can change. One day, you're sitting behind one of television's most recognizable tables, delivering opinions to millions of viewers without hesitation. Then suddenly, the network is dealing with a massive legal controversy, and your name is connected to a case carrying an enormous financial figure. The View built much of its identity around direct, unfiltered commentary, sharp opinions, strong personalities, and whatever target happened to dominate the headlines that week. But there's another side to being unfiltered, Words can have legal consequences, and when aggressive statements aren't carefully reviewed, those punchlines can eventually return with a price.
Trump came out and said she's about as pro-choice as they come. And here was the reaction on The View.
I think she hates him.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Okay, so we can all agree on that. That's a given. I also think that she wants to take him out. She does not want to be the first lady anymore.
Would you look? This is a network that still runs out fact checks to these women, like it's concerned.
Let's put the reported scale of this situation into perspective, because calling it a minor warning wouldn't come close. We're talking about an alleged $800 million figure, not some small penalty that disappears inside a quarterly budget. A number that, if accurate, would demand serious attention from any network. It's the kind of potential financial blow that could leave executives questioning everything, from programming decisions to editorial practices, and wondering how much of the operation might have to change afterward.
Biden and Kamala Harris every day on that show. Trump wasn't supportive enough of the cops who were, yes, in danger on J 6th. How does that explain their behavior on a daily basis toward Harris, toward Biden, toward AOC, toward all of the left, including their own show, Sunny Hostin? The hypocrisy is rank.
We did not have is white women who voted about 52%, right, for Donald Trump. Uneducated white women, is my understanding. You have Latino men, actually, voting more for him. And you have, and black men was not the story. We're not the story here because they voted.
Karoline came prepared with evidence and pursued the matter through the legal process. Megyn Kelly used the aftermath to highlight the risks of crossing legal boundaries with controversial commentary.
More focused on the insurrection that he personally unleashed, if you ask them. As we discussed earlier, they think it's as bad as like the Holocaust, and you don't have to take my word for it. Here is Sunny Hostin of
January
The View
6th was an
today.
atrocity. It was one of the worst moments in American history. And when you think about the worst moments in American history, you know, like World War II, things that happened, you know, like.
The reported $800 million figure became the headline, potentially forcing major changes across the network. Karoline stayed composed, while Megyn Kelly delivered a calm, detailed breakdown of the controversy and its wider impact.
Get this little lecture from, forgive me, those is over at The View.
I'm a Christian girl. When something like this happens to you, like this assassination attempt, and you say something like God was watching me, that is a very unchristian thing to say because it's very narcissistic.
What?
Well, God was watching me and not watching them. There's something very disturbing.
I
should have pulled the plug on that mic yesterday.
That's obnoxious. I don't know what church she goes to. That is how people of faith talk, and the intimation is never, he was looking out for me, but not those moms.
Megyn's calm, controlled reaction stood out without any dramatic outburst. Meanwhile, Karoline pursued her side through the legal system, where subpoenas, evidence, and financial consequences changed the entire conversation.
Mess that they air in the mornings, called The View, had to issue not one, not two, not three, but 4 corrections, legal corrections. 4 legal notes. We only have 3 of them on camera, but look at this.
I have another legal note.
Oh, my God.
Both Trump and Pam Bondi have denied allegations of a quid pro quo. I have a legal note.
Not to mention what they did at that debate, where once again, they tried to fact check only one side, and then when their fact checks got fact checked.
Karoline's legal team came prepared with evidence, focusing on defamation, internal communications, and alleged reputational harm. The case shifted the focus from television drama to legal scrutiny, with Karoline reportedly building a strong case. The program also reportedly issued 4 legal corrections, though only 3 were shown on camera.
Nothing more than tearing down women with the most petty and vacuous of insults. Leavitt appears to be a fierce operator, but she's also 27 and arguably quite glamorous. So of course, the kind and progressive voices at The View reacted to her appointment like this.
I think she's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that.
The controversy reportedly pushed newsrooms towards stricter legal reviews and greater caution around unsupported claims. Megyn Kelly highlighted the media responsibility issues, while Karoline Leavitt pursued her response through the legal process. The bigger lesson is simple. Television isn't a courtroom, and confidence doesn't replace accuracy. If the controversy leads to lasting changes, networks may become more careful with legal review, editorial standards, and aggressive commentary.